Greetings to the channel, my friends. If you're new here, welcome. Hope you enjoyed this video. Now, I'm talking about this watch today. This is a watch from a new brand called Englemaan. That's basically sounds like a made-up German word for what is effectively a made-up German brand, because this brand is paying very strong homage to largely and almost entirely Sinn watches. Now, a brief introduction to who Sinn are. They're a well-established enthusiast brand, I would call them. Those of you who are into horology will know about Sinn, and they do lovely pilot-style, field-style, military-esque watches, very toolish watches, lovely dive watches with hardened submarine steel, things like that. They're a lot of money, £1,000 plus, especially when it comes to the equivalent of today's watch, which is the Englemaan Wraith UTC edition. Now, what's cool about this watch is what I'm going to cover in today's review, and that is what it offers over and above your usual homage, especially at this kind of price bracket, which is just over £200. What you're getting is something which is the Sinn looks, which is toolishness, which is a made-up word I just made up, and you're getting a lot of spec for your money, which I know is what we all love. So without further ado, and any more waffling, let's get on with it. So yes, what we've got here is an absolute clone of a Sinn watch, but what it's offering over and above that kind of watch is some unique selling points, which I am really impressed by for this price. I've really taken my time with this watch. I've had it about a month now, and I've taken this on holiday with me to the Netherlands. I had a lovely road trip, so I had to operate in 2 different time zones, and I've enjoyed wearing this in the pool, and a wide variety of activities, and this watch doesn't have a mark on it. That's the first unique selling point of this watch, over and above what you would normally get at this price point. It has full scratch resistant coating. That's the big USP number one. The second one, which they strongly promote on their website, is the fact this has got a built-in protective cage, or it's effectively a plate over the movement, which gives it fantastic magnetic resistance. Now, some of you might say, what is the relevance of that? Why should I care about magnetic resistance? Well, I thought the same until I did a bit more research and realised over the years of me reviewing watches, I've had the odd one where its timekeeping has gone a bit awry. That's because it's got magnetised. Now, watch movements can get magnetised if they're exposed to magnetic fields that can mess up with the balance spring and other components in the watch. And things like speakers and engineering equipment and lots of other kinds of tech that we interact with every day can affect a watch's movement. So if you want a tall watch, which is something you can wear without fear or worry of almost anything happening to it, i.e. water resistance, scratch coating, and any magnetic impact, this is definitely where the Englemaan is going to excel for this price point. Now, before I get into those surprises, if you will, I'm going to do a bit of housekeeping, and that is a few stats and specs. We'll start from the case size. It's a 39.9 case size, so it's a very general wearable size for many wrist sizes. Due to the GMT movement thickness of 13.9 millimeters, not too bad when you consider its 6.4 mil crown, which is screwed down, that enables it to have a 200 meter water resistance. So again, lovely versatility there. You ain't going to get water in your watch to ruin it. The length of the watch is just under 49 millimeters. So again, it's not going to look too long on your wrist, but it has a lovely taper to those lugs, which are drilled as well, allowing for easy strap changes. And what is also going to make the strap changes easy on this bracelet is its quick release pins on there. And you also have a quick release micro adjust clasp. And another cool unique selling feature of this watch is the screws that hold the links together have a mechanism designed into it, which means they're not going to work loose. You can have a choice of different looms on here. I'm jumping to the Lume just because it's so exciting. You can have the green or the blue. This model has a bead blasted finish. Also, of course, with that full anti-scratchiness coating, about 6 times harder than an uncoated watch made out of stainless steel. So it's significantly tougher. It's still possible to dent it in the market, but you've got to be doing something quite brutal to damage it. And that would apply also to the Sapphire crystal, which is AR coating on the underside. So you've got scratch resistant on the Sapphire, then you've got the ceramic bezel insert, which is also lumed. So to finish off with, in terms of the spec, the inside part, the movement is the venerable, reliable, and in this case, running at literally 1 second a day fast. It's that good. I put it on my time grapher, which I've left at work. Amazing timekeeping, NH34 from Seiko. And this is what is called a cooler GMT. There are 2 GMTs which I like to talk about the most, and that is the cooler one, which is in this watch, or a traveler GMT. I personally prefer a traveler one because that gives you the independent control over the hour hand, and you can just click it back and forward, and your GMT hand stays the same, and that is your home time. This one, on the other hand, is for people that maybe want to track multiple time zones, and they can just move the GMT hand independently to a different place in the world's time zone. Therefore, it's easier for you to keep a track of another time zone. That's the stats and specs out of the way. But the thing I've really got to talk to you about is the Lume on this watch. I'm a bit of a Lumeaholic, if that's a thing. Again, another made up word along with toolishness. I kid you not, it's mind-blowing. The longevity, the strength, the quality, the neatness of its application, all combined together. As someone who appreciates Lume and analyzes those details to share with you guys, it's outstanding. Possibly, in my opinion, the best I've seen for Lume at this price on any watch. It's that good. So before I start gushing praise on this watch, so you know it's an honest review, and I'm not just going to say I've had it for a month and say it's the best watch in the entire world ever, go and buy 1,000 and I get very wealthy off of commission, which is not the case, by the way. In all honesty, I did get sent this watch. I don't have to send it back, but I always give honest praise and also criticism where it's due. And I'll start with that now. I actually had a bit of a fiddly time taking those screw pins out to resize it. It was quite fiddly, but it's one of those things that once you've got through that fiddly element and it's done, you can go, oh, thank God that's over with. For some reason, the screw just wasn't coming out very well. I'm going back in easily on one of the links. My wife made a good observation. She's a very keen eye on these things. She said, it looks quite cheap. It looks a bit plasticky. Upon reflection, I know what she's saying. The bead blasted finish does kind of cheapen the look of a watch, in my opinion. It doesn't have any other elements of brushing or polishing to sort of lift it a bit. But I said to her, well, it's a tool watch, you know, and she was like, what the hell is a tool watch? And I realized how much of a nerd I am. The bezel action, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not even saying it's average. I still think it's good, but not excellent. The reason why I say that is because I fiddle with this a lot. I've definitely got OCD or fidget anxiety, and I like to fiddle with bezels. It definitely has loosened a little bit over time, but it still has that lovely snickety feel to it, but it's definitely got a bit lighter and a bit less snickety than when I first had it. I'm worrying I'm wearing it out, fiddling with it too much. And that could be said about lots of things in life, which I will not go into any more detail about. The finish of the bead blasting is perfect, I must say, but there is a very slight patch of sort of patchiness, if you can call it that, of the application of what I think is this anti-scratch coating, and there is a slight darker patch on just one part of the side of the watch case. I've said it before, I don't really like the NH34 movement. I don't like cooler movements. I prefer true GMTs, in my opinion. I'm not a snob, it's just I'd rather a watch which, if I'm going on adventures, i.e. the one I went on to the Netherlands where I'm changing time zones, it'd be nice to just click the old hour hand forward a bit and that's it. This clasp is rather big, disproportionate to the watch, of course, but I would say I would rather it be a little bit more elegant, but it does have plenty of adjustment for it to fit you comfortably, which it very much does. On this watch, I like the fact it doesn't have massive text of Engleman written on the dial. I don't like the other Engleman watches with huge amount of writing on the dial saying Engleman. I like this one because it doesn't really have any logos on it because there's not enough room to fit it. But I don't really like the sort of, I think, fake made up German name, but in the grand scheme of things, it could be a lot worse. They could have called it Scheisse Watchen or something. So yeah, I can't think of any more criticisms. I'm going to talk about the what's bloody amazing on this watch, and I've already covered most of it. And anything I've missed is the general fit and finish, the clarity of that dial, the proportions. I know they stole the design from someone else, but they still executed it very well. They still could have messed it up. But I've really found this to be a good go anywhere, do anything watch because of I don't worry about it. The timekeeping's great. Knowing I can't damage it. I've worn this doing some rough and tumble stuff, you know what I mean? And it's just been fantastic. No mark, not a single mark on it. And just the general specification, all things I appreciate, the things you can and can't see, all amalgamate together into what is a fantastically specified watch with handsome aesthetics at a very reasonable price. What more could you ask for? That's why I would definitely recommend one of these watches. And I look forward to seeing more from this brand. Now, there's something else that you must do. And that's before you go, just hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, completely free. If you change your mind, obviously you can go, which would be very sad. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.